Hi, I'm David. I'm here to talk to you about cryptocurrency price analysis for Thursday, January 10th, 2019. Today we'll be talking about Bitcoin, Tron, Ethereum Classic, and we'll take some extra time to talk about Ethereum and the implications of the upcoming Constantinople hard fork. So, without further ado, don't forget to like and subscribe below, and let's get to it. Okay, here we have Bitcoin on the 1 day, for starters. And I know of no major news that's moving Bitcoin right now. The price action largely has been the news as of late. We can see here that the price is averaging just a little over 4K, and the market cap is about 70.7 billion. So, here you can kind of see that part of what triggered the recent rally back up to 4K is that we broke through the 50-day moving average. We hit the psychological at 4K, and we've been kind of hovering there ever since. That's a pretty optimistic sign in my book. What gives me further optimism, if you look here on the 1 hour, see now we've been hovering right around the 50-hour moving average, a little above, a little below, just above it right now. That's pretty optimistic, but also we have this rising 100-hour moving average, which with any luck will provide some upside pressure to push us up to higher highs. Now, to be clear, there is a chance that should we break below this when it reaches our level, that it could send us back down. Something like the 3,800 range would probably be the next reasonable low. But if we can break up above, we'll probably see further upside. And to answer what that upside looks like, we have to go back to the 1 day, and we'll see that there's not a lot of resistance or key levels based on the price action because the recent crash was so fast. So we're probably looking at kind of psychological staggered levels, maybe every $100 or $200. So realistically, if we do get more upside, it'll probably be kind of slow. It'll probably be like kind of steps. That's fine. That's actually a good sign for showing strength growing in the market. The only thing that would be bad, again, is if we broke below that the 100-hour level and dropped back down. But I think the signs are looking pretty bullish right now. I think there's a good chance we'll see some slow but steady growth in the coming days. All right, looking at Tron, starting on the daily here. The biggest news hitting Tron right now, you can kind of guess, is the price action itself, and that it's just recently overtaken Bitcoin SV and Tether today to make it into the 8th spot on CoinMarketCap, which we can see right here. Its market cap is just under 2 billion, and it's hovering just below 3 cents. So, going back here to the daily, as impressive as this rally looks, there are some signs that we might be running out of momentum. Don't worry about today's volume right here. The day just started effectively, so that doesn't mean much yet. What I'm more concerned about is the incredibly high RSI, an indicator that we're overextended as we can be. I mean, we're well above the moving averages. They're not really coming into play just now. Furthermore, let's take it over to the hourly for more concerning signs. Still a pretty high RSI. You're also seeing declining upside volume and some significant sell volume going on there. And maybe most concerning is what appears to be the formation of a double top here. Now, it's too early to fully call that. It just looks like it could form a double top. And double tops generally mean we've kind of hit the, we've run out of momentum in this rally. That's not a guarantee. We could still see some more upside, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But if it does dip here, if we have run out of momentum, we're probably looking to go back down to around these levels, about a little over, what is that, 2.5 cents? Both because of this recent support and because of this rising 50-hour moving average. There's a good chance we wouldn't go much lower than that if it did dip. If it does rally up, though, if it does have a little bit more strength in it, if the strong hands come in, then the highest I think we're really going to see is somewhere around this like 3.5 cents level. Even that's probably optimistic, but that's the next time you see some real resistance coming in. There's not a whole lot between here and there, so if people can keep buying, that's probably about as far as the upside's going to go. I wouldn't really recommend buying right now. It's probably going to have a little bit of a pullback, but the next few hours will probably give us a better idea as we see if that double top truly forms. All right, now let's look at a coin that everyone's talking about, Ethereum Classic. Now, I'm sure most of you know this already, but the major news is that Ethereum Classic got hit with a 51% attack recently. You should check out my colleague Will's video on it. He does a really good job of breaking down both what happened and the implications. But in a nutshell, Ethereum Classic, somebody got over 50% of the network, performed some double spends, and stole a not insignificant amount of money. Now, one would expect this would have really hurt the price of the coin. Here on CoinMarketCap, we can see we're still about, 500 million and just over $5. And on the daily, I mean, you can see that, yeah, okay, here's where the news about broke. And yeah, there was a dip, but compared to recent price action, that's not that significant. It caught nicely on the 50-day moving average. That being said, the technicals are looking kind of mixed. If you look at the 4-hour, you can see how not only, okay, you're going to see this recurring resistance line here. This is basically a lot of recent price action has caused that resistance, but also we have the 50 and 100 4-hour moving averages more or less converging here. All of that, in addition to the news, tells me that there's probably not going to be a lot more upswing on this coin anytime soon. On the 1-hour, you can see that we did actually break the 50-hour moving average, but we're still hitting resistance, as we mentioned, but also there's a descending 100-hour moving average. The point is, though, the real news here is that it didn't crash when the news broke of the attack, and to me that's really impressive. I would have guessed a much further swing downward. So that's telling me that people aren't abandoning ship. Even though it gave the market a little scare, a lot of people are still holding strong. I'm guessing our best bet at this point is sideways action. If it didn't crash already, I don't know any reason, barring new twists in the story, that it's going to crash in the next day or two, but I just don't see it moving up a lot either, both from a technical and fundamental standpoint. So yeah, this is definitely one to watch. This is kind of an unprecedented event in crypto, so the next few days will be really interesting. Again, sideways action is my best guess. And now we have Ethereum. Now, the big news that everyone's talking about with Ethereum is the upcoming hard fork happening at block 7,080,000, which is expected to happen sometime next week between the 14th and the 18th. And the big question is, how is this going to affect the price? Well, we'll come back to that in a minute. First, let's see how the price is doing right now. Here on CoinMarketCap, we can see that Ethereum is just over 150, and we're looking at about a 15, almost 16 billion market cap. Not too far away from Ripple, but we'll see if that flippening happens again. As for technicals, we can see we were just rejected off the 100-day moving average. Didn't seem to hurt the price too much, knocked us back a bit, but it looks like we might already be rallying for another test. Move to the 4-hour. We did just dip below the 4-hour 50 moving average, but again, passed right through. It didn't really reject it so much as just kind of didn't seem to mind. And at the 1-hour, we are currently actually testing the 50-hour moving average. And it looks like we have the strength to hold it. There's not a ton of sell volume coming in right now, but the next few hours will see how that shakes out. Realistically, the price has been hovering around 150 for a little while now. That seems to be the price the market kind of wants to hone in on. And as we approach the fork, it seems like a lot of the market's kind of holding its breath, kind of waiting, not making any too bold of a move. Now, the big question, of course, is what will happen once the fork actually occurs. Well, the fact that there's a fork at all isn't probably the thing that's going to move most people. A lot of users aren't going to notice that it happened, assuming there's no real problems, and there's no real problems expected as far as I know. The one group of people who will notice a difference definitely is the miners. The block reward will be lowered on this hard fork from 3 ETH to 2. And that's going to cause somewhat of a financial situation for miners, and that could cause a short-term bear situation. It could cause a bit of a dip, because plausibly miners are going to be selling some of their Ethereum in order to cover costs. So as it comes on, we could see a few days, a few weeks, we could see somewhat of a downside. But the economic logic behind lowering the mining reward is that in the long term, we'll see a smaller supply of Ethereum coming out, and lower supply should breed higher demand, and that over the next few months or years should help the price of Ethereum rise significantly. This in conjunction with the assumption that the crypto market as a whole will start to rise as well. And 2018, a lot of that year was about Ethereum following the market. It was kind of a leaf on the wind for most of the year. So the economic logic behind it and the presumable rising crypto market should mean that there's a long-term bull scenario for Ethereum. I feel it's very likely, but I do think in the short term, just after the fork, there's a real chance we could see a dip in Ethereum. Now, as we just talked about Ethereum Classic, coins don't always do what makes obvious sense. So that's not a guarantee. And again, not advice. But I would not be surprised to see a short downside for Ethereum following the Constantinople upgrade. All right, that'd about do it for me. As usual, I'm going to remind you, this is not investment advice. This is just my opinion. Do your own research, make your own decisions. Until next time, once again, don't forget that like and subscribe, and good luck with your trades.